Winter weather driving can be hazardous and scary. This training is intended to provide you with information and insight on what to expect if you drive when roads are covered with snow or ice. Let's first watch a short video of accidents that can happen during winter weather driving involving snow and ice. Everyone should be cautious about driving during extreme winter weather. Cold snow and ice are demanding on cars, drivers, and passengers. Most importantly, extreme winter weather road conditions can threaten your life. Watch the local news on TV for road conditions. The local news also provides traffic cam views and live footage of routes you may be considering. The best advice for driving in bad winter weather is not to drive at all if you can avoid it. If the governor declares a state of emergency due to a winter weather storm, only essential state employees should attempt to report to work. If you must drive in snowy conditions, make sure your car is prepared and that you know how to handle the road conditions that may exist. Plan on trips taking extra time since you will be traveling at slower speeds and experiencing traffic delays due to accidents and road conditions. Leave earlier and consider an alternate route if you know of trouble spots on roadways you would normally take. You need to be prepared before you drive in severe winter weather with roads covered in snow or ice. It is best to maintain your car in preparation for the winter weather driving season by ensuring your car battery is in good enough condition to start in cold weather and will last through the winter months. An aging battery that does not maintain enough of a charge to start your vehicle without hesitation should be replaced. Ensure the tires on your vehicle have sufficient tire tread to provide traction in snow and that your windshield wipers are not excessively worn. You should also keep no-freeze windshield wash fluid in your washer reservoir and have the antifreeze checked in your vehicle's radiator. Before you travel, start and warm your vehicle. Defrost and clear all windows. A broom is ideal for clearing heavy snow off your windows and other surfaces, which could create a hazard for other motorists following behind you. I'm sure you've seen sheets of snow and ice flying off other vehicles in your winter driving experiences. Dress warm, including a hat, heavy coat, gloves, and boots. Try to have in your vehicle operational emergency equipment such as cell phone and charger, blankets and extra clothing, flashlight, jumper cables, and a first aid kit. When driving in winter weather, utilize the following tips. Accelerate slowly is the best method for your vehicle to gain traction and avoid spinning wheels. Most winter weather driving accidents are caused by motorists driving too fast for road conditions or trying to stop too quickly. Most of these accidents could be prevented if motorists follow one simple rule. Drive slow in the snow and don't tailgate. Maintain extra space between you and vehicles ahead of you to allow you enough reaction time to stop or avoid the other vehicle if it has trouble. You should allow at least 3 times more space than normal between you and the vehicle in front of you. Try to drive in existing tire tracks ahead of you. Keep headlights on low beam for better visibility and to be seen by other drivers. Use wipers and defroster to keep your windshield clear. Other driving tips include drive in clearer lanes to reduce the risk for skidding or possible accident. Avoid sudden turns to reduce the potential for losing control of your vehicle and skidding during a turn. Avoid sudden braking such as slamming or pumping the brakes. Whether you have anti-lock brakes or not, the best way to stop is threshold braking. Keep the heel of your foot on the floor and use the ball of your foot to apply firm, steady pressure to your brake pedal. The following video clip shows what can happen when braking on snow and ice-covered roads. You need to reduce your speed and avoid sudden braking, especially where ice has formed on roadways. Most of you have probably experienced skidding in snow or ice while driving. If you start to skid, you don't want to use your brakes or your accelerator. The first thing to do whenever you feel your car beginning to lose traction is to get your foot off the accelerator. If your foot happens to be on the brake, get your foot off it too. Your accelerator is probably what got you into this situation in the first place, and your brakes are useless now. You want the car to slow down and recover some of the traction so that you can regain steering control. Applying the brakes to tires which are sliding across the road isn't going to do anything. Unless your tires are gripping the road, your brakes are useless. Your skidding tires will slow your car down until your tires can regain some traction. Use gentle steering input to control the skid. So what direction should you turn your steering wheel? We've all heard the advice that you should steer into the skid, but which way are you skidding? Thankfully, the answer is simple. Always steer in the direction you want the car to go. When the car starts skidding, look directly at where you want to go. Do not look at where you want to avoid. Your hands will follow your eyes, so if you stare at a tree on the side of the road, that's where you're going to end up. As you begin to regain traction and steering control, gently brake to a stop or continue slowly if the roadway is clear. Since braking distance is longer, take time to slow down for slower or stop traffic and stoplights. Remember, it takes longer to stop on snow and ice. Be especially cautious on bridges and overpasses, which will freeze first. Even at temperatures above freezing, if the road surface is wet, you may encounter icy spots on them. Snow and ice will also stick longer to roads in shaded areas. This is especially true when the sun melts snow during the day but refreezes as ice during the night. If visibility gets too bad due to heavy blowing snow, you need to slow down even more or pull off the road. Use your emergency flashers for these situations. Should you become stuck in the snow, utilize the rock and roll technique of rocking your vehicle forward and back as far as you can go by shifting gears, as illustrated in the following vintage video clip from the 1960s, until you can drive out. This technique still applies today.
Kind of trouble confronts us as the car struggles to climb from a snow-laden side road into a main road. Watch as the driver uses the rock and roll technique, each time bucking a longer clear space ahead and behind until he has cleared a path for a getaway. The rock and roll technique calls for a steady movement of gear shift from forward to reverse and back, always catching the car for change of motion just as it bounces from extreme forward or back.
One of the most difficult encounters you will face when driving in snow and ice is when going up or down hills. Keep the following tips in mind. When traveling downhill, slow down on approach to view the situation downhill. Proceed when the roadway is clear. Use a lower gear and allow plenty of space between any other vehicles. Coast and avoid using brakes if possible. Apply light pressure to brakes if necessary to slow your speed. When traveling uphill, wait until the hill is clear of traffic. Get some momentum going before driving uphill and don't stop if possible. If you do stop and lose traction, turn around and go back down the hill. You can try again or find another route to take. The following video clip shows what you may encounter on hills and situations to avoid.
Should go back down the hill. Uh-oh.
ice is out there and can sneak up on you when you're not paying attention to the roadway. Black ice, sometimes called clear ice, looks like shining wet pavement. Black ice can form overnight as melting snow refreezes. Remember, bridges and overpasses freeze first, and extra caution should be taken when approaching. If you do encounter black ice, slow down prior to reaching it. Remove your foot from the accelerator and coast over it, but don't apply the brakes. If you do become stranded, remember these tips. Use your cell phone to call for help. You should never leave the vehicle since you may be exposed to any traffic that may exist in the extreme cold weather conditions. Run the heater for 10 minutes every hour to stay warm. Try to stay awake. Open your window occasionally for fresh air to prevent the accumulation of carbon monoxide buildup from exhaust fumes. Keep emergency flashers on so you will be seen by any passing traffic. When in the vehicle, keep your seatbelt on in the event you are struck by another vehicle. Occasionally check the vehicle exhaust for obstruction and clean off tail and signal lights. This concludes your NCDOT Safe Winter Weather Driving Training Session.